Welcome to the Fantasy Football Hub YouTube channel. Today I'm joined by FPL Salah to preview Game Week 26. Abdul, we are still in Game Week 25 at the time of recording though, and there is one more game left to play. Villa versus Liverpool, of course, which could be massive for those with, well, Villa players, I suppose, but also those on the assistant manager and the triple captainship. How's your game week been so far?
Yeah, pretty good, Jag. 166 points. I've got three Liverpool and Trent, Salah, and Slot, and then I've got Morgan Rogers as well. So I'm on a green arrow at the moment. I think if Liverpool win that game, it should be a fairly decent game week. If Villa win that game somehow, then it's going to turn in from like a green to a red, I think.
So you're on Slot, as you can see on screen.
Yeah.
I'm on Emery. It's one of those again where it's just again that Tarkowski goal for like a Moyes owner versus the Slot owners was such a big swing, and who knows, we might see something like that again. You were just telling me off camera that the chances or the odds, I suppose, of Villa getting a result, so either a win or a draw, are about the same as the chances of Liverpool winning the game, according to the bookies. So
pretty much
there is definitely scope for some Emery returns there.
Definitely.
But yeah, 66 points so far. Strong. 100k rank increase. You did end up going for Rogers in the end. We talked about that in last week's episode. So yeah, just tell the people what you ended up doing last week, and then we'll look into your team for Game Week 26.
Yeah, so I ended up going Sar to Rogers, and as we talked about last week, I was quite close to doing Dango because I knew I was going to sell Rogers this week. It was just like a 1 week punt. The reason I went for Rogers was because I had 4 free transfers, so I thought, I could take that punt. But look, it could have worked out, but this is why you shouldn't most of the time kind of mess about with transfers. If I'd made that move, I'd be 5 points up and a transfer up. Look, Rogers obviously could still score against Liverpool and get a good score, but it's quite unlikely. The Ipswich game was the one I was kind of banking on. It didn't work out, but it is what it is. So I went for Rogers, and he will very likely go this game week.
Okay, interesting. I think you did talk about it and sort of evaluate the risk of it quite extensively. And people that know you as a manager will know that that's not like a typical thing that you would do normally. It's only because you had the free move. So how do you feel about the decision making of that? I mean, the outcome, who knows? We're yet to see if Rodgers will do anything against against Liverpool. It doesn't really matter, I suppose. It's happened now. But would you do the same again in future?
Probably, yeah. I think
that's fine then.
With the amount of transfers I had, I think it was worth a shot.
Yeah.
If I had maybe 2 free transfers, even 3, I probably just would have went Dango. But I've got that flexibility. Even now, I've got Rodgers there, who's an immediate sell, but I've still got 4 free transfers, and I've got 9 players for game week 20, blank game week 29, as things stand. So I think I'm in a kind of a fairly, in that sense, quite a strong position. So yeah, I would do it again. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, 26. Let's get into it. Let's talk about your team first and what you're planning on doing.
Yeah. So I'll probably okay, so I've got 2 decisions there. First of all, Rogers. I'm very likely going to sell him to, I think it's likely going to be Dango, same plan as I had last week. There was a kind of moment where I thought, because keeping Rogers this week and then possibly getting on Nkunku for, Chelsea's games against Leicester and Southampton, which look really good. But look, Nkunku is somebody who really bit me at the start of the season. I got him at the start and lost about 0.5 million on him. But, I still think it's a decent punt, but I reckon I'll just go for the Dango move because, look, there's an alternative there in Dango who's a proven asset. He's playing up front. There's no real reason really to take that risk. I think Dango's probably an even better option than Nkunku, despite even if he is playing as a number 9 and even with those fixtures. And I guess it kind of probably saves the transfer as well in 29 because Chelsea have got Arsenal away. The second decision is whether I keep Slot or get rid of Slot. Now, I always had this game week in mind as a game week I was going to take a risk in the table bonus, but I was having a look at the odds, and honestly, they look like for the teams that have a bonus game, right? At the moment are Leicester, Palace, Ipswich, Wolves, and Southampton. So Crystal Palace at the moment are in the bonus, but I think if Villa, yeah, if Villa beat Liverpool, then they won't. That won't be a bonus game. So the highest odds of a win from for the teams that have the table bonus are Leicester, who are at home to Brentford, and that's like only 28%. So it doesn't look great, right? But I'm just thinking whether now, if I do make the move, right, I think I would. I'll take a like a gamble in the bonus games, one of the bonus games.
Okay.
If if not, I'll just keep slot and just save that transfer and just kind of use it, kind of going ahead and just kind of plan for Game Week 29 and the transfers I'm going to make there. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment in the second transfer.
I've got the predicted points of all the managers up on screen, just going through them. I've had to
Yeah,
scroll a long way down to get to Slot. So
yeah,
he's at 4.8 predicted points according to Fantasy Football Hub. And guys, I mean, these predictions might change as we get closer to the well, they will change based on the result in the Villa Liverpool game, I suppose. Well, they might as we get closer to Game Week 26. So if you want to keep on top of these predicted points, you can do so if you click the link in the description. But yeah, as you can see, I've had to go a long way down there to get to Slot. Arteta is the highest prediction at 8.6. And then, as you mentioned, Van Nistelrooy Leicester is at 8, which is
yeah,
still behind Glasner, but only just. I suppose it's pretty close between Palace and Leicester for their possible predictions. I
yeah.
mean, I think
It
Palace have
is.
slightly high clean sheet odds, which is um, why Glasner might just be a little bit ahead in the predictions. I don't think Van Nistelrooy's he hasn't kept a clean sheet since
Yeah, I
taking the
think
job.
it's also they've got a higher chance of drawing, so predicted
Yeah.
points for Glasgow will probably be a bit more. Yeah.
But yeah, I think the thing is that Slot is way down there at 4.8. So
Yeah,
is it
so
worth
he's at
making that move?
4.8.
Yeah.
Arteta's at about like 8, right? You said
8.6 according
yeah,
8.6.
8.6, yeah. So roughly, about 4 to 5 points difference. So if you say a transfer is worth around about 4 points, give or take, then moving slot to Arteta is a bit. It's a wee bit sideways. Not sideways in the context of the game week, but in terms of like overall points, it does seem a bit of like a sideways move. Because Liverpool could, if Liverpool end up winning that game, which they're favourites to do, and Arsenal win, they're going to end up on the same points,
Yeah.
and I'm going to have to use a transfer, which is why I think that if I'm going to make the transfer, then go for broke, go for like the guy who could possibly get a 19 pointer. And okay, if Slot wins that game, if City score, that's 8 points. Just say Leicester lose, they score a goal. They still gets okay. He still gets a point. That's 7 points difference. It's not like the end of the world. So on that basis, I think if I do the transfer, I will, go for the table bonus. If not, I'll probably just keep Slot. That's the decision I'm really kind of weighing up at the moment.
Okay. It's worth mentioning just to explain what these predicted points mean. This is sort of like, well, how would you explain what these predicted points mean? Because it's not like saying we think that Glasner will get 8.3 points in this game week or 8 points in this game week. It's sort of an average of what he would likely get if this game was played 100 times, isn't it?
Exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, I just like think of it as like a simulator. Like,
Okay.
if you play this game 100 times, like the average score across those 100 games would be this. And I think with the predicted points, it takes into consideration, like, for the managers, it'll take into consideration like win odds, draw odds, loss odds, and all that kind of stuff, and team strength. For players, it'll be like goals and assists and things like that. So, yeah, they're fairly advanced, and they're they're the best tools we've got at the moment to kind of cross check ourselves.
So let's talk about actual managers then.
Yeah,
If you are to chase and go for it, I think that the name that most people are talking about right now is Glasner.
yeah, I agree.
Um, and I'm not sure. I don't personally love it because I think Fulham away is a very tough fixture, and I back Fulham to um, get into Europe this season. I think
Yeah,
they've had a great season. Just looking through their home results, they're not phenomenal at home, but they score a lot of goals. They've had some good results, and they're definitely the favourites for that game.
yeah,
It's one of those where obviously like that is the nature of this chip. If you go hunting for table bonus, then you are obviously, well, 9 times out of 10 choosing an underdog. You'll be choosing an underdog here. It's a shame that the fixture's away. But then yeah, I mean, are you really going to go for Leicester, who have been terrible? at home to Brentford. Brentford probably just I can see them just doing very well on the counter attack, and then after that, there's only really Juric at Southampton, who I
Yep.
mean I'm not going to go there, and then McKenna, who's the one that I was sort of looking at, but he's not doing well on predicted points at home to Tottenham.
No.
So, do you think Glasner is the best?
I think yeah, and that kind of tells you, all you need to know about, how how good the bonus table of fixtures are this season, which this game week, which is not very good, because that is probably the best chance we've got at table bonus. Like look, just say for example, like last week, Fulham had Forest at home, and that was a fixture I would really fancy playing. The assistant manager on
Yeah,
because we know that it's one of those kind of fixtures where it's a really good team up against another good team, but Fulham are 5 places behind and they're at home, so we know. And Fulham were actually favourites to win that game. So it was such a good, it's when all these things kind of come together. We don't have that this game week.
yeah.
We've just got, kind of really tough fixtures. And the fact that Palace versus Fulham away, is probably the best chance we have at table bonus, it just tells everything we need to know. And it's why I'm just thinking of saving the transfer on the manager this week.
Emery is at 5.2 predicted points. What do you think? What do you think for Emery owners? Is it worth moving that on?
I would I'd be in the same position. I would probably be looking at keeping Emery at Chelsea. I mean, no table bonus, but I would fancy Emery to beat Chelsea at home. Especially with the form that Chelsea are in. I think that's going to be quite an evenly contested game. But I think I've not actually looked at the odds yet, but I think the odds with Man City and Liverpool against Chelsea and Villa are probably going to be quite similar
Yeah,
in terms of win odds. So if I was on Emery, I'd be looking at possibly keeping him as well.
interesting. Yeah, it is a shame that there's not like that crazy upside this week. And it makes me think, oh well, managers that might have saved the chip and might use it later down the line might do better. Just a word on potential chip usage and especially the wild card, the second wild card, and how that will affect bench boost and then maybe assistant manager in future.
Mhm.
I've seen a lot of people talking about how if you wildcard in game week 30, you won't have the information for the doubles in the future weeks. Can you just explain that and why we might have the wildcard in game week 31 rather than game week 30?
Yeah, so I think at the moment it's predicted that we get that information after game week 30, right? And then before the 31 deadline. But like we've had two double game weeks just pop up out of nowhere this season. One in 25 and then the one in 32, which weren't really predicted by the likes of Ben Crellin and Talha and Praz, like who are really kind of really good at this kind of stuff, right? Nobody really predicted those. So I mean, look, we could get possibly another, surprise double game week announcement before that, and
Yeah.
it changes all the plans again. But as things stands, as if going off previous seasons, game week 33 and 36 are the ones we get the double game weeks, and we usually get, the information of that after, game week 31. But even then, like in previous seasons, you could have still wildcarded in game week 30 because you would have a very good idea of what those fixtures were going to be.
Okay.
You kind of knew which players to target. But I think it's a wee bit different this season, just with the kind of unprecedented, last two double game week announcements that we've had. I think we need to be a bit more careful. So to me, that kind of pushes me a wee bit more towards a game week 31 wild card. I think generally just playing the wild card as closest to the bench boost as possible is good anyway. And I'm planning on bench boosting in game week 33.
Okay. Let's go back to game week 26 because we need to talk about
Yeah.
captaincy. We haven't had to talk about captaincy for a while.
Yeah.
We need to this week. What are you thinking?
Yeah. I mean, like the thing is that the fixture is there for Liverpool to swerve Salah, right? Man City away doesn't really get much tougher. Maybe only Arsenal away. But the alternatives like Palmer's got Villa away, Isaac's got Forest at home, which are both okay fixtures, but not brilliant fixtures. And then Mbeumo's got Leicester away, which is a great fixture, but he has blanked in the last two. He has played well, to be honest. I mean, he could have got returns. But I just think with the form that Salah, at the moment, my captain's armband's on Salah.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if it'll stay that way, to be honest. I might, like, if I get Dango, I mean, I could possibly go Dango because I think he's obviously a
Wow.
great option this week. Wolves at home, he's playing, as a number 9. Um, you know, I wouldn't let, I mean, if you're thinking about him, I wouldn't let the price put you off. I mean, I think a lot of people get put off by, he's 5.1, but just look at what he's offering in terms, look at his underlying numbers. They've been like brilliant. But at the moment, it's still on Salah because I just think, that City fixture isn't as difficult as it looks on paper. And then Liverpool have been great. Salah's been great. I still think he's going to be the highest captain, but there is an opportunity to go against him. And I've not fully decided yet where I'm going to go with that.
Thing is, City that might have just turned a little bit of a corner. Obviously, had that great result against Newcastle. The
They
new
did.
signing played well,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that Nico Gonzalez and Marmoush playing, they seem to have made a difference. But like it's one game, right? They've been pretty poor the whole season.
yeah.
I don't know if we should. I mean, look, this could well be the turning point, but I don't know. So it's a one-off game. I still back Liverpool to win that. He's quite not easily, but I still back them to win.
I agree with you. I think I'm almost definitely going to go Salah. It's one of those where even if they do lose the game, I still
Yeah,
expect Salah to score. It's like I feel like with all these other players, maybe Isak is the exception that you would expect to score in that game, but I'm not
yeah,
100% sure on that. But like Salah, I really just would. I'd be just surprised if he didn't get a return in a game. Whereas for everyone else, like I'm
yeah,
sitting there hoping they get one. For Salah, I'm like, okay, when is his return going to be?
yeah.
And I'm just not sure that should be like I'm not sure you should necessarily go against that unless you really feel strongly about one of these options. But apart from Isak, I think the others are slightly punty. Depends on
Yeah,
what you want to do and your risk appetite, but I don't
yeah,
see the need to go against that.
yeah. There's that, and Salah's only blanked 4 times this season. He's got 14 double digit hauls. Um, like
Wow.
it's insane. Consistency is insane. So yeah, I mean, he's probably more likely to get an attacking return than not.
Yeah.
Even against City.
Which is pretty much exactly what you want from your captain.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I think Gameweek 27 is probably a better time to go against Salah, just because Chelsea got Southampton at home. So if you are looking to kind of, I guess, if you're in two minds about taking a punt, next week's probably the better time to do it.
I think everything you just said there, by the way, has been backed up by the predicted points on screen. Salah has the highest predicted points. Let's check. Any player this week? Yes. It's close. Isak's just point 0.3 behind, but
Mhm.
he does have the highest. But then next week, yeah, Palmer is actually considerably ahead of
Right.
him by point
Yeah,
0.9, which is a lot in predictions. I mean, for Salah to be point 0.9 behind anyone says a lot. So
yeah, fixture.
maybe that could be the one. But again, I mean, that's still
Yeah,
scary. Chelsea out of form and Salah at home to Newcastle have just
yeah.
conceded a lot of goals. I'm going to struggle with that.
It's. I mean, look, it's Salah, so it's always going to be scary going against him, especially
Yeah.
right now because his ownership is going to be, 180, 190 at least most weeks. So
Oof.
yeah, but I think you've got to take him on in a few game weeks at least, from now to the end of the season.
Well, I'm thinking of selling him in game week 29 and then not having him in game week 30. So that would be me taking him on. I think there's a good chance I might go triple Bournemouth midfield. I've already got two,
Wow.
which might be fun when we get there because the 29 and 30 game for Bournemouth could just be so fun.
Yeah,
But
I'm same as you in terms of getting rid of Salah in 29
okay,
because I don't think there's any other way I'll get Haaland.
yeah,
And then if I'm going to wild card, I mean, look, you're only getting rid of them for a few weeks, right?
yeah,
You could possibly even go without him for the rest of the season if you wanted, because Liverpool haven't got doubles out, but doubles coming up. But I'm not sure if I'm ready to do that yet.
no.
But for those two game weeks, like when City have got Brighton at home and then I think it's Leicester at home, you could take Salah on for those 2 weeks. I think it's viable, and then when you wildcard, you bring him back in.
Let's round this off by talking about your transfer then. Um,
Yeah.
and if I had to ask you right now, who you're going to go for, I have strong opinions on this, by the way.
Okay.
Out of the players you said, interestingly, when I click X as in transfer out on Rogers, the two players at the top of your AI transfer suggestions are Dango and Nkunku. They have the same predicted points over the next four, and Nkunku looks very strong in those game week 27 and 28 fixtures, as you said.
Mhm.
So who would you go for right now, or where are you leaning out of those two?
Dango. I mean, with Nkunku, it's a bit of a punt, and it's like it's one of those where it looks great on paper, but who knows what it's going to be like, when it comes. With Dango, we know what we're getting. We know we're getting, a player who's putting up great numbers and a great team playing as a number 9. Van Listen and Unisena are still quite a bit away from coming back from injury. He also got subbed off last, like Clivert got subbed off before him. So did
Yeah.
Christie. I mean, Semenyo all stays on for the full game, but you know he stayed on ahead of Clivert, which for me was quite significant in my decision this week because he was also one I was considering. But I just know what I'm getting with Dango. I don't quite know that with Nkunku yet.
Yeah, 100%. Need Christie to get a yellow, by the way, because he's so important to that team and he's on 9 yellows. So he'll get a 2-match ban when he gets that yellow, which he will, I'm sure, very soon.
Yeah.
So hopefully he gets it this week and then he'll be banned for the Brighton Tottenham game and then we triple up on Bournemouth when he comes back. But
Yeah.
to go back to your transfer, there is no way I would ever go for Nkunku. I think there's a decent chance he might not even be in the team quite soon. He's been that bad. And also,
All right, okay.
we don't know what position he's going to play. Just looks terrible. Doesn't really suit the team. And for me, it would be Dango 100%.
Yeah.
I don't know if that.
I don't think he suits the number 9, does he? He's not a number 9.
He didn't play there against Brighton. He played attacking midfield and Palmer.
Oh,
went up
did he?
there.
I thought
Yeah.
it was Palmer played the number 9. Right, okay.
Just because it was so bad in the cup that they
Yeah.
thought about, okay, let's change it, see if that makes it any better. Just because
Right.
Nkunku is not like a last man player. He's a second. He is a second
Yeah.
striker.
He is.
But it didn't work,
Okay,
and
well-
he was poor again.
Well, that's a nail in the coffin for me then. That's it.
I mean, I was like, the Southampton and Leicester games are very tempting, and it is like Hall fixture, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know it's just one of those, but it's one of those things you dream about, bringing in like a player who's going to be like 1% owned and he just totally smashes it. But
Yeah, Beto.
I mean, look, yeah, Bell. We didn't mention Bell this week, man.
Don't need to, mate. He's the most consistent player in the game right now.
Wow, four goals over 3 game weeks. That's just
What a legend.
wow. Absolute legend. Yeah, I might get a Bell top after that, to be honest.
I think I say tattoo.
No, not a tattoo, no, not that far. But yeah, what a transfer he was.
Yeah, fair play. Okay, mate, I think that's everything for this week. Not too much to talk about, but there are a lot of chips in play. So
Yeah. There's quite a few who played their assistant manager chip in 25 as well, so they'll have
Yeah.
26 and 27 to decide for their managers.
see, that's the thing as well. If you did play it in 25, are you thinking about moving it on now, but then also saving the transfer for it next week, and then you sort of like trying to work out who might have table bonus in 27?
Yeah, because I think potentially Glasner could have 2 table
Yeah.
bonus games in a row. So that's something you might want to think about. Obviously, you'll need to wait until the Villa game for that to be 100% confirmed.
That is the tough thing about the chip, is trying to work out like what, because you have to work out obviously the points potential for the manager and the team you choose, but then also every other team in the league and all their
Yeah.
fixtures, because you're trying to work out future table bonus,
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
tough. It's a pretty complicated chip. I still really like it. I don't know. I know a lot of people disagree with me on that one. What do you think? Do you like it? How have you found it as we go into our final game of using it?
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I wouldn't say I hate it, and I don't say I love it, but I'd always say it's advantageous for engaged managers. So in that sense, that I like it. But in terms of the whole, like, the concept of assistant manager, I don't know. It just seems out in the character of FPL, if you know what I mean. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
That is the main gripe that people have, is that
Yeah.
it's not you're not picking a player, you're picking the team, and we've
Yeah.
never had to support a team before, because
Yeah.
that's actually the opposite of what fantasy is.
Yeah, exactly. It's players. So yeah, let's see if they keep it.
There we go, mate. Thank you very much as always for your tips
Thank
and
you.
advice. And guys, if you want to see what Abdul ends up doing with his transfer, I mean, I'm pretty sure he'll go for Dango, but just in case, you go a bit mental one day and think, I want that Hall potential, which Dango definitely has as well, by the way, but you never know. And Kunku could be like stuff of legend. But also, more importantly, I think who you end up going with as your assistant manager, because I think
Yeah.
that's not as nailed yet.
No, not at all.
Then click the link in the description, sign up to Fantasy Football Hub, and then you can read Abdul's final team reveal, which will be posted on Friday. It's also a 7-day free trial, so if you don't like it, you can cancel and still see what Abdul does if you want to be cheeky. There we go. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we will catch you on the next one.